Okay, well, got a new camera position today, sitting a little bit higher. It's hanging from the canopy by a suction cup mount, so if you sense a sudden plummet to the cockpit floor, it will be because the suction mount gave up. Also, looks like there might be a lot more vibration because I don't have it on the shock absorber mount, but we're going to see how it goes because it might be a better view, so we'll wait and see. It's free to try. And speaking of free to try, you see I'm flying alone today, so expect a lot of monologuing. Let me get that power up a wee bit. There we go. Wait for the oil. So, for reasons I'll get into as we're flying along with nothing else to do, I'm practicing instrument approaches, GPS approaches specifically, at Madison County and Grimes Field, where if everything is going well, I'll stop for brunch. I'm doing this, I've got unobstructed vision. I'm not wearing foggles or anything. I would need a safety pilot for that, and I'm not really ready for that. I'm going to do the whole thing with the autopilot because, as I'll get into, I may be flying a more complex airplane, and I may be flying at an IFR, and maybe I'm doing it alone, maybe I'm not, but single pilot IFR, in my opinion, requires the second pilot, which is the autopilot. Certainly you practice flying by hand because the autopilot may or may not work on any given day, but for now, I'm really just trying to become familiar with the GPS approach procedures because the last time I was instrument current was 15 years ago. And if there were GPS approaches then, I don't remember them. So the concepts are not difficult. It's all waypoint, waypoint, waypoint. What I have done is put down all the waypoints in progression that we're going to go through. Each of these waypoints comes off of a chart. And for example, this ACPUC ACPUC is right here. That's an initial approach fix. We'll probably hit it coming about this angle. So we'll need to get turned around. That's how you enter this hold. As far as hold entries, I have a little cheat sheet, which way to enter the hold, because there's 3 different ways depending on where you're coming from. It's always a very contentious subject. I'm just going to muddle on through. So we'll go past ACPUC, and we will do that at no more than 8,000 feet, no less than 3,000 feet. And we'll go 6.2 miles. Once we pass ACPUC here, this is the side view, we can come down to 2,700 feet by the time we get to Fafwi, however that's pronounced. And then past Fafwi, we can go down to our minimum descent altitude, which what I'm going to use right now is what they call LPV, which is assuming that the Skyview is giving me good vertical guidance, which I believe it does, but in any event, it's pure VFR today. There's nothing that can really go wrong. That takes us down to 400 feet above the runway. We'll go around from there. We're just going to keep on going. And then we're going to start heading for Grimes Field, Urbana, and we're going to go to this high rid. And again, this is going to require a course reversal. It's a straight in, so I believe they call that a parallel entry. You just come in around like this. It's almost it's a teardrop kind of turn. And then it's the same thing. We will cross high rid at 3,000. We'll stay at 3,000 until Leckney, which is only about 6 miles from the end of the runway. Then we can come down to, we have to cross a WEGO if all we have is LNAV, which really we probably do. Going to kind of ignore that. We're just going to go down to 1,700 feet. Our decision altitude is 300 feet, which is very generous, very low. It's very flat out there. So I can't fly 1347. I can fly 1400, so we'll fly it to 1400. But in reality, what's going to happen is we're just going to land it because I'll probably be hungry. So now I need to enter in all of the waypoints into a flight plan, which is something that's been a long time since I've done that. I'm pretty sure I go to map, and I'm pretty sure I go to flight plan. Oh, here's one already in here. Okay, all we got to do is take out Uhagi, because we don't like Uhagi. He turned out to be a pain in the ass. How do I delete that? Flight plan menu, remove waypoint. Yes, please. Okay, so there's ACPUC, Fafwi, Gadmu, the airport, which I don't really want. We'll go ahead and leave that in there because that'll keep me straight on. Well, actually, I'll be going direct down. We'll leave it on there because we're going to fly right up past it. We're going to start on the way to Fenlu, but it's 11 miles from the airport. We're not going to do that. This would be the missed approach. If in a real life you just missed the approach, you got to go around and try again. You'd go on out to Fenlu and hang around until ATC got back to you. What we will do is we will go towards Fenlu for a little while. Then we're going to do it direct to high rid, and high rid is Urbana. We already talked about that. We'll come at high rid from a wanky angle, turn around, come back, and land at Urbana. So just got to start entering these in. I'm at Fenlu. So now I'm just going to do flight plan, insert waypoint, and this one is Hotel, India. I remember when GPSs were so slow to go to the next letter. It took forever to do this kind of thing. Now it's just blindingly fast. There's High Ridge, so we're going to insert that. We want it there. That's a good plan. Lecny is next, so we're going to go flight plan menu, insert waypoint, and we're going to type in Lima, H-I-J-K-L, Echo, Kilo, November. Oh, there it is right there. It found it already. So we're going to insert that right there. And then we're going to put in India 74 just so I can turn it around when I want to come back. It's already in here, it knows where we are and all that. I don't know if I really need to or not, but I'm going to put in India 74. That's probably going to be like the end of the runway kind of thing, which is not a bad thing to have under. So insert that, insert. So we're ready to go. My first step is going to be direct to ACPUC. So let's go ahead and, I think I can just say navigate and it'll, nope, it's going to take me to UIF. So I want to navigate, I want to go direct to ACPUC. Oops, wrong button again. Direct to, there we go. And it will automatically cycle from there. Once we get there, it'll cycle through. So where are we on the oil? Oh, we got the oil pressure. We got oil temp, we're ready to go. Done with these notes, set that over here. Gonna need this. Put the pen back. Oh, I got 2 pens. Ah, good for me. Redundancy in the pens. They're too big for this little holder. Okay. So this is my little iFly. I'm only gonna have that running because I want to look at this GPS-based fake panel. This is like your emergency panel if this dies. So I'm going to just kind of monitor that as we go. I'm not going to put the flight plan in it or anything like that, so ignore the HSI, but I'm just going to be watching the gauges and see how well they work. So I do believe we're ready to go. 21.8, 28.1, perfect. Everything else I need to do, everything's up to speed. We are about ready to go. I can zoom in a little bit. There's no traffic around here. No, okay, we're good to go. All right, so there's no reason for you to taxi all the way down to the runway with me. I'll turn you on once we get down there. As soon as I find the buttons are all in different places now. When I'm taxiing out, I'm looking at the flag, which is standing straight out and rippling, and you just call wind's calm, so, all right. Not quite that calm. Okay, we're through the run-up, that's just about ready to go. I've got tower on the frequency there, so I can give them a call when we're ready. Gonna do some pre-planning here. We're going to be going 3,000 feet. These approaches all start at 3,000 feet, and that's actually a very comfortable altitude around here. I've already got that dialed in. I'm going to want to get on the autopilot, assuming that, there's a low-hanging ceiling here, maybe 500 feet. I'm going to want to get on the autopilot pretty quickly because that's kind of a busy time. I also have a heading bug set up for the initial course. So instead of going nav and having it jockey around trying to get right back on the course, I'm going to point it in the general direction using heading hold, then slowly reset back to, I can just do like a direct to and get that to reset, so when I hit nav, it'll just plod right along without all this kind of shenanigans that it likes to do. We can zoom out here and see what the course is all going to look like. Assuming we get all the clutter away from it. Yeah, it's too cluttery to see. It has it all laid out here. We'll just follow along. The purple is current leg, white is what comes next. Okay, so about ready to go. Can't think of anything else to do. I've done the run up, check the canopy, camera's running, I'm yapping. We're just about ready to go. So over the tower, yeah, we're on tower, so that's all good. I might as well go ahead and dial up AWAS at Madison County. So I might as well have that ready to go, so I don't have to fiddle around with that. It's only a couple things, but there we go. And I can actually monitor that as I'm on tower frequency. This thing will do that. That's all nice stuff. So fuel pumps in, we're ready to go. Give them a call at the tower. Let's see. Creep on up, so we're ready when they're ready. Should be right away because there's nobody else here. Old Tower, Experimental 284 Delta Golf, ready for takeoff runway 22 departing VFR westbound.
Experimental 284 Delta Golf, Bolton Tower, runway 22, turn right on course, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff runway 22, right turn on course for Delta Golf. I was flying with a guy yesterday that Bolton Tower asked him to slow down his speed. He was talking too fast for him, which is what happened to me last year. So I shared with him that it's going to take some time, but you can actually slow yourself down. This is a habit you get into. Okay, we got crosswind from right, despite the promise of calm winds. I don't care. Here we go. Nose wheels up, steering with the rudder. Just gonna fly off, there it goes, didn't take much at all. There's that crosswind, you can see it. Now I'm having the crab. I don't know if you can see that way up. You're probably just looking at sky. I don't know if this view is any good or not. So take my word for it. There's a crosswind from the right. Now I want to get to 500 feet AGL. I don't want to be making an abrupt turn. I mean, the weather's bad, presumably. So I want to get some altitude. I want to get stabilized. So that's going to be about 1,400 feet MSL. That's coming right up. Now we'll just call it 1,500. There we go. We're going to go ahead and make our turn on the heading. And actually, I'm going to finish the turn before I engage the autopilot, just in case it does something wonky. I'm in the clouds, presumably now, just staring at this and hoping for the best. So here comes heading. I can go ahead and turn on the flight director. I can get heading turned on, and I can get nav turned on, and just fly the flight director. Actually, I have heading. I want heading, and I want altitude. I turn the heading back, and there we go. Everything's off now. Heading and altitude. Still no altitude. Anyway, altitude. There we go. And I want to go to 3,000, so I hit up, and now I can just follow the flight director. Or I can turn on the autopilot. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Okay, autopilot has the airplane. Now I'm going to reset. I want to recenter this nav needle, so I'm going to go into my map screen, flight plan, and I want to do a direct 2 on that. There, that centered it. Now I can go to nav, which is that one. There we go. And that's going to turn on course. I'll go ahead and line up the heading for a just in case kind of deal. And we can go back here. And back. So Akpuk, not that far away. Okay. So we have, what do we got? This is my distance Akpuk. It's 2.8 miles to Akpuk.
Approaching altitude.
That's good. 500 to go till 3,000. Everything's doing great. Everything's in the green. What's this guy doing? He says about 80. That's 120. That'd be about 80. Well, that's 96 knots air. We're doing across the ground. Our ground speed is 89, which is, well, that's what this is showing. So that's ground speed because that's all GPS knows. It's got the heading just right. Altimeter, pretty close. Of course, that's GPS altitude, but it's very close. And 600 foot per minute climb. So this is working well. Not sure how responsive it is. Not sure why you don't have an attitude indicator. It'd be hard to fly without an attitude indicator, but it's just for backup. Okay, let's see. Here comes 3,000. It's going to level off, and when it does that, I'm managing the throttle. The autopilot doesn't manage the throttle, so ups and downs, I have to manage the throttle. So as we level off, obviously, it's going to speed up a little bit. I don't really want to get up a big head of steam because we're getting ready to fly an approach. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it back and keep us down around 100 knots or so, maybe 90. There's no big hurry here. All right, here comes Akpuk. And let's see, it'll give me a timer on that. Oh yeah, 27 seconds, 26 seconds. Now, here's flight plan turn in 14 seconds. We're not going to be there until 23 seconds. That's so it can lead the turn. It doesn't want to fly over and then turn around and come back. It'll actually lead the turn. So we're going to turn in 6 seconds, even though we're 15 seconds from the spot, the waypoint. And that's going to happen in 1 second. It's going to start right now. There it goes. Easy as that. So now we got about 4 minutes until the next spot, which is Fafui, which is where we're going to descend, start our descent. Actually, at Akpuk, we can start down to 2,700, so we can do that now. So 3,000, 29, 28, 27, nothing happening until I do this. And then I need to pull some throttle out. Even though we're only going down 300 feet, I'm going to pull some throttle out. So where this is all coming from, it's a longish story. Through various set of circumstances, I ended up out in Missouri a couple weeks ago at Whiteman Air Force Base flying the B-2 Stealth Bomber Simulator, which is not something civilians typically get to do, but if you know a pilot, and that pilot happens to be graduating from the training squadron into his active duty squadron, they're allowed to invite people out, and we're allowed to sit in the simulator and fly it. So I got 45 minutes. It was a 10-hour drive back for 45 minutes in the sim, and I would do it again tomorrow. I swear, it was amazing. They ask you what you want to do. They're used to what I call tourists. We were on a tour. We were tourists. 99% of people want to do a takeoff or a landing. I do that a lot. So I asked them if I could do something that I will never ever be able to do in civilian life, but I've always been fascinated with, which is air-to-air refueling. And they said, absolutely, you can do that. You'll fail at it, but you can try it. And they were partially right. They were partially wrong. It took me about half an hour to get the plane settled down. The B-2 has extremely heavy stick force. It's 10 to 15 pounds to get it to move. And stick full to the side, it does this. It's an extremely stable airplane, which is probably due to their mission. I'm not complaining. But what would happen is I'd get off the side and I'd give it a little bit of stick and nothing would happen. And I'd give it a little more stick and nothing would happen. I'd give it a little more stick. Oh, now it's starting to go. Start giving opposite stick, but a little bit of stick, a little bit of stick. Ended up kind of doing this under the tanker. Just PIO, back and forth. And then once I settled that down, I had a lot of trouble with fore and aft because there's also lag in jet engines and you're making these micro movements and it's, by the time it moves, you already should have pulled back. That takes a while to get a handle on. First 3 attempts, well the first attempt I got up under the tanker and the plane started to climb and I was pushing on the stick, but I did not yet know how much effort that was going to take. I ended up cramming right into the bottom of the tanker, which killed everybody involved. I think second, third, and fourth try were better, but I would still kind of get out of position enough that we had to back up and try again. On the 5th or 6th try, I got to say, there's a couple strips of lights underneath the KC-135 that you're watching for position. One strip of lights shows your altitude, whether you're high or low, the other is front and back. We would creep up, and you creep up just slowly. I had to slow myself down in that too, it was a big hurry. You got to slow yourself down. So I did that, and when the boomer gets the boom into the receptacle, the 2 lights turn green. So I got on the receptacle, and my friend B-2 pilot says, well, you're on the boom, and 4 seconds later, you're off the boom, because you have to slow down. You only have about 6 or 4 feet, I can't remember, it was very few, you only have very little boom left to get it slowed down, and as opposed to going too far and yanking it out of there. That happened twice, and that was, I think I had maybe 5 minutes left in my 45, and I said, well, let's do something else. We had been flying away from the base, so we were 200 miles away from a landing, and it's not a supersonic bomber. So I asked him if I could do a roll, and he says, yeah, well, you can try it. So I knew an aileron wouldn't work, because aileron roll, you'll get upside down, and the plane will just plummet. So I did a barrel roll, which maintains positive G on the airplane, but it's not a straight line. It kind of a helix in the sky. How long till Fafui? 1 minute to Fafui. And at Fafui, we're going to go down to, we're going all the way down to 1400. And I can pre-dial that. I don't have to wait for that. I can put 1400 in right now. And once we go across Fafi, I just have to hit the down button and pull a little throttle out. I'm leaving it right about 85 knots because at some point I'm going to want to put down the flaps. I'm not going to do it today, but normally I'd want to maintain flap speed so I could get them down when I needed them to. So we are, what now, 32 seconds from Fafi. We don't need to lead that. At Fafi, I'll hit the down button. And then I'll finish up the story with the roll, because what comes after the roll is what's really important. The barrel roll was successful. There was no problem with it at all. It's not a complicated maneuver. All right, here we go. 14 seconds. And there's your down button. 10, 9, 8, 7. And there we go. Down to 1400, pull the throttle. Okay, so we still had a little time left. We had a minute or two, and I asked him if I could loop it. And he said, well, I don't know. I don't think it's ever been done. They obviously won't try it because prospective nuclear bomb deliverers don't want to be known as being frivolous in the airplane, so they don't do things like that. So we started at 8,000 feet. I pushed the nose down to get another 1,000 feet. Well, come on, slow down, plane. Pushed the nose down to get some speed up. And now I've done a lot of pretend loops in PC-based simulators, so I know not to yank it all the way back, because what you're going to do is a figure 9 right into the ground. So about half stick, got it up there, and then on the way down, it's full back stick. I mean, hold it all the way back, and it's just slowly coming out of the dive, and I could feel the stick shaker as I was getting a little too much angle of attack. I was kind of feathering the stick shaker, but we survived the loop. Now, the airplane would not have survived the loop. As we were coming down, I was pulling 3.5 Gs and doing 0.83 Mach, which was in a bright red font. I was told later that if you come back the real airplane, if you bring it back with 2 Gs on it, on the max Gs pulled, you go to talk to the wing commander. That's not the way they fly those planes. But the interesting thing was at the O Club, the officers club, which I don't think is an officers club anymore, but it was all the squadron pilots. It was a big celebration for his graduation. And they all were just fascinated. Hey, you're the tourist that looped the B-2. So that was an absolute blast. That was tremendous fun. Let's see, 55 seconds, okay. That was tremendous fun, and I really enjoyed the camaraderie and all that, being in the airbase and around the pilots, and I actually got a little nostalgic for my time in the military, which was 5 years active duty, 6 years guard, but I was enlisted, not an officer, not a pilot. But I had been talking, you flew with Joe. If you watch my YouTubes, you remember the flight with Joe. He was in the Civil Air Patrol, and he does that mission where he flies formation on drones out to the target area. All right, we're just about to our 1,400 feet. I want to make sure I level this at 1,400. It should do it by itself. We're at 16, so we're okay. Lost track of what's. Oh yeah, so I went to a Civil Air Patrol meeting last night. The process of joining the Civil Air Patrol is you got to go to 2 meetings, and I went to a meeting last night. And it was everything I expected. Just a big stage crowd, mixed experiences, all gung-ho for the mission, all very well-spoken, presumably intelligent, and fun people to be around. So I got that done. Part of the appeal of that is, well, part of the appeal is being back in basically an auxiliary to the U.S. Air Force and actually having a mission for my flying. And another part of the appeal is what they fly. They have a Cessna 182, a beautiful airplane. It's in great condition. On 1,400. Well, I don't know when the camera quit, but we are now on the missed approach from Madison County, getting ready to take a direct to the next stop, which is Urbana. Damn camera just shuts itself off. I don't know how much of my wonderful story you missed, and I'm not going to go through it again because, you know, it was a long story. That's not what I want. I want flight plan.
Okay, County traffic.
And we're going to do now direct to high rate.
Clinton County traffic lights 4177 here. 10 miles south, inbound for runway 21, Clinton County.
And now we want to go to radio. No, we won't. We want to go to map. And we want to go to info. And we want to get the Unicom. We want to get into Unicom for India 74. So, com. And we'll take the AWAS first. Why not? Let's listen to the AWAS. Tune that over. Pop that over.
Visibility 10.
Tune that for where we're ready. That's going to be my note. That's the wrong thing to do. I want
temperature
17
Celsius. Dew point 12. Altimeter 3016.
Okay, altimeter's the same. Camera's still working. That's so damn irritating.
Grimes Field, Urbana Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 1405 Zulu weather wind calm visibility 10 clear below 12,000 temperature 17 Celsius dew point 12 altimeter 3016.
Alrighty, we're all set up for Urbana. So here's what we're doing now, coming from Madison County, and we're going to come and make this wide ass turn. Now we're not going to make that turn as we discussed before. We're going to use the pattern, the holding pattern as a turnaround. Used to be you did procedure turns, but I guess maybe GPSs they'll set up a hold for you or something. I don't know why they don't do procedure turns anymore. But we're going to be coming at that from an angle, and from that angle, we will do a teardrop entry, which is just kind of come in, turn around, come back. Basically, a procedure turn that doesn't use as much airspace. Oh, now I'm getting a phone call, which I can't do anything about. Except make it stop buzzing in my pocket. Joe Mosher. Sorry, Joe, I'm in the air.
We're going to be here in a few minutes doing a run-up instruction.
Okay, I'll take the intersection.
Yeah, well, if you want to back taxi to the Midwest, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. Uniform.
Okay. That was Joe, probably wanting to talk about how I felt about the meeting last night for the Civil Air Patrol, if you got that far. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's kind of a shame. Read my blog, I guess. That's all I can tell you. Damn camera, I hate you. All right, so we have 21 minutes, I'm sorry, 12 minutes. 12 minutes to high rid. The synopsis of what you may have missed is I flew a B-2 simulator. I did air-to-air refueling. I actually succeeded partially at it, which is rare for a tourist. Got nostalgic for the military. Had been talking to Joe, who rode with us a few weeks ago. Went to a Civil Air Patrol meeting last night. Looks like I'm going to sign up for it, give it a try. Interested in flying their airplanes, interested in having a mission, interested in kind of a squadron-like feel. Just basically something to do that is hopefully rewarding. And I mean, they have a mission. They do things that matter. And there's a lot of flying involved. You're flying a 182 with a Garmin 1000, which is why we're practicing this. I don't know how much of that got cut off, but so what we're doing right now is we're on our way to high rid, where we will turn around. We'll maintain 3,000 feet. We'll maintain 3,000 feet for another 6 miles to Leckney, and from there we are going down to 1,400 feet. Actually, that's very close to what we did at Madison County, about the same altitude, also 300 AGL. And I mean, an ILS generally takes you down to 200 AGL. So these GPS approaches, if you have vertical guidance, authentic WASP-based vertical guidance, which I probably will when I get the 2020 GPS, you can use this. I do not have the new GPS yet, so I would probably be limited to just lateral navigation, which would only let me go down to 400 feet. And that 100 feet may or may not make a difference, hard to say.
Runway 20, Grimes been traffic.
Okay, there's somebody landing 20. I agree with that. That'll work fine for us. That's what I've got set up. So we'll just pay attention to what that guy's doing. But for now, we're just kind of droning along. This is the en route port of instrument flight, which could be
north, Green County.
But plane is doing great. This thing's doing great. He says 3,000. He says almost 3,000. We're pretty, yeah. I don't know how it knows altimeter setting. I strongly suspect that's GPS altitude.
Going to be overflying the airfield.
350, 347, very close. 90 some knots, ground speed. This is going to be ground speed. We're doing 105 knots ground speed, so, well, that's okay. There's 40 between there, 20, so that's 100. Yeah, that's about 105. So this thing's working out great. It's a good backup. I do wish it had an attitude indicator, but I'm not sure how it would do that. It'd have to have gyro stuff built into it, which frankly isn't that expensive, but you could probably use the turn indicator as a pretty good backup if you need to. That's what you do partial panel on a vacuum-based system. You use the electric-based turn indicator as kind of, not very good one, but kind of a replacement for an artificial horizon. So this could work out as a backup. That's why it's here. The only reason it's here is redundancy for GPS or flight instruments or swapping back and forth between both. So back to the air control. No idea when I'll get to fly the planes. You know,
Band of traffic, Cessna 50156, taking the active runway, runway 20, will be departing the pattern southeastbound. Grimes band of traffic.
Okay, you don't make that. It's not the active, but you don't just get to make it the active. So southeastbound after takeoff is that could be a factor for us. Although we're actually pretty much abeam the airport at this point, so we're heading north. He'll be heading back this way. So we're kind of past that already. He would have to come almost due east for it to be a problem for us. So he's not going to be much of an issue. Good to know. Good to know, though. Good to know. And there's climb out right there. I think there was another one took off before him. I think there's a second one. And we still got, well, not too long to go. 5.5 minutes to our next turn, which is that's really where we're going to enter we're not going to make this turn. In fact, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to set a course on the heading for the teardrop. Now the hold comes straight off of this extended line. So I'm going to want to, let's see, let's get the heading. Let's first set it parallel. I'm going to set it parallel to that. And then I'm going to take about a 30-degree swipe at it. So once we cross high red, this will look very different by that time. But what it'll look like is that it'll look like this line, and I want to go kind of, it's about a 25 to 30 degree angle. You can barely see that, I'm sure, but we're going to do that. So what I want to do is take that heading I put in there, and I'm going to crank it over. What are we at? So I'm going to crank it out to there. And that'll take us off in this direction. We'll do that just enough to where we can make the turn back on course, and that'll fly us right back in on this line, because at that point, we're going to go direct back to High Rid or straight to Leckney, either one, I don't care. So let's see how that works. I'm really not sure how this works. I'm figuring this all out as we go.
Band traffic, Cessna 50156, turning crosswind at 1,600 feet, departing the pattern southeastbound. Grimes band traffic.
Alrighty. Nothing on my traffic scope. Well, we've got it zoomed. I have to zoom it out a little bit finally. Nope, still good. I don't see anybody. Stuff to watch for them. And that's the thing about, this is why you carry a safety pilot and everything when you're on foggles, is to look for other airplanes, because you can get so engrossed in this stuff.
Him being right there up at.
You get very engrossed. I just want to see who's talking. Anyway, this can be very distracting. You really want to have a safety pilot with you.
It's done, please.
Right. When you're under the foggles, these guys are just chit-chatting. This kind of flying adds a lot of miles. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
45 to left downwind to runway 25, and we're full stop, Green County.
All right, at this point,
Delaware traffic 328 Charlie, 5 miles.
I want to go direct high red, so let's go ahead and do that.
45, runway 28 Delaware.
Well, we're already going direct highway, but it knows about Leckney, so I guess I can't really change that. And, well, what I can do is I can go to heading. I can go to heading right, oops, wrong knob. Not getting any better, is it? Oh, look at that. Ugh, nasty up there. All right. So we're almost to high red. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's just go ahead and set track to what we're doing right now. Although I think this is generally done with headings, so we'll go to heading. And we can just go to well, actually I need track because I do want to go right over high red. So we're going to go track, and that shouldn't change a thing, except we won't make that turn. Now when we get here, that's when I'm going to do that outbound leg, and then right away subtract 30 degrees from it, and just start that teardrop turn. He turned around and left, that's good. And it looks like track is going to get us pretty close to high red, but I can modify that. I can take us right over it. There we go.
Delaware traffic 328 Charlie, left downwind, runway 28 Delaware.
Yes, left call. Right traffic.
There are a lot of planes flying. Haven't seen a single one of them. I'm going to want to lead. I'm going to lead high red by about 10 seconds.
45 left downwind for runway 25 full stop.
Actually, it has shifted. Well, let's see. What's next? So it went to Leckney, so I got to go back to this. It went to Leckney without my permission.
Marine traffic, leg 315, about 3 miles southwest.
There we go.
Down for landing on 26 Marine.
Now we got high red, and there's my countdown. And it led. But it's going to try to do a 180. I don't want it to do that. Why have they flying track? Why are you trying to do that? I don't know. But we'll go ahead and tell what we want and see what it does, because like I said, this is all experimentation. So we're going to go outbound now.
Delaware traffic,
by about that much.
Runway 28 Delaware.
And we could set a timer. I'd probably want to set about a 1 minute timer. Back, tools, timer. I want to run. So where that shows up, I'm not really sure. Run, where are you? Okay, I need to know where the timer shows up. That's not helping me at all. I probably need a widget for the timer. So we're just going to estimate it today. See how we do that. That's going to be this way. I want to get it started. If I'm going to go more than 180, I want to get it started the way I want to go. There's some traffic coming in.
Miles to the west, going to be entering, or going to be crossing midfield, and teardrop for 25. Marine traffic, leg 31 Papa is entering a left downwind for 26 Marine.
And in reality now I could probably go back to another map, flight plan, and go direct hybrid again. There we go. And let's see if the nav can do that. Let's let the nav do it instead of the heading. And see what it does.
Archer 8229 Pop, left base, runway 25.
Now it's only tracking, see it's tracking 192 to intercept the GPS, so I'm still going to have to manage this to make sure it tracks back. There, it's going to do it. I have to make sure that I intercept that pink line or the magenta line, or it won't do it. It won't switch over to map. Now it has. Now it's using GPS, so it's figured out what I want it to do to intercept that, and I actually could have intercepted that a little closer to high rid. And that'll make that a more gentle turn, in theory. Go with me. All right, so now we are 14 miles from Urbana.